Hi there. In this video we'll be covering how much does it cost to publish a book. Bringing a book forward can cost lots of money, but the steps in this video will help you hopefully avoid unnecessary spending. By the end of this video you will learn some of the most important costs around writing and publishing, why you might be wary of companies that charge you by the month, and why you should view the cost you spend as an investment on yourself. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. There is such a wide range of spending that you can incur when writing and publishing your book, from hundreds to a few $1,000s to hundreds of thousands of dollars. It really depends on the different options that you choose, the people that you end up working with, and making the best decisions possible. To that point, there's also so many companies and people out there who are ready to take your money, who are interested in ripping you off, or interested in taking advantage of you because you don't know about these things, because this is a big step forward. The book publishing world can be scary, and it can be frustrating and difficult, and you can put your faith in the wrong company. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars and still not be any closer to seeing your book on bookshelves or being read. Ghostwriting is one of the biggest expenditures when you're writing and publishing your book. A good ghostwriter could charge you $25,000 as a starting point, all the way up to six figures and more. It really depends on the experience level, on the type of book that you're writing, but that's a big cost. You know, it can be really costly to work with a ghostwriter. It's one of those things where elements of the book process can be cost prohibitive. There's only so many people who can actually afford ghostwriting services. So some elements are kind of blocked out, but at the same time there's other opportunities that could help you. For example, if you couldn't afford book ghostwriting, maybe you could afford a writing coach. This is somebody who actually guides you and helps you on the writing process and kind of gives you tips and insights as you're doing the writing. So it's a little bit reverse from the ghostwriter who's actually guiding the process and doing the writing for you, but it's another way to get support at a lower price point. Of course, writing on your own doesn't need to necessarily cost anything. If you're doing the writing all by yourself, that shouldn't be a heavy cost, or maybe if you end up buying access to a writing course or some tools online, you might be able to make it work for even just a couple $100s. So that's the disparity. I mean, you could spend six figures or zero on writing your book. It's really interesting looking at the publishing process in terms of the money involved. If you end up finding a company that will help you with the publishing process and working through every step of the process, you could incur tens of thousands of dollars in costs because of the month-to-month process. But you're not actually paying for the services rendered, you're paying for service to a company. I find that it's a much better process to specifically seek out the people that you need to publish your book instead of thinking about it in terms of a catch-all and paying a company to find those people for you. The people that you need to find that are going to help you publish the best book possible are editors. You need a content or developmental editor, and they're typically going to charge maybe a couple $1,000s, maybe $1,500, maybe $1,000, depending on the size of the book. But that's a 30,000-foot view. Copy editing is another $1,000 to $2,000 potentially, depending on the size of the book. And that's in the deeper level of the text. So 30,000-foot view to 10,000-foot view on down. And each of those steps is going to be a little more cost effective, typically in terms of the cost and the price. But thinking about editing in terms of the things that you're actually paying for and the things that you're receiving, the deliverables, instead of paying for a subscription to a company and then allowing them to connect you with different editors for your book, it's going to save you a lot of money in the end. Design help is another big thing. You can use programs to design your book. You can use Canva to design your book. But you want to work with professionals. You want to work with people who are going to make your book look great. And all told, to be honest, if you're looking at editing and design work, cover design, layout, you know, you're probably looking at somewhere around $5,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Somewhere in that range though, which I think is an affordable amount. You know, it's something that's within range for a lot of people. It brings down the threshold. It brings down the gatekeeping. Obviously you can cut corners and do these things yourself or Find workarounds where you're not paying money directly. Maybe you have a friend who's a good editor. I've certainly edited manuscripts before for friends of mine, so I know it happens. So maybe there's ways to save a little bit of money, but you want to make sure that either way, whether you're paying for it or you're working with a collaborator or a friend, that these are experienced pros that know what they're doing, that can really bring a level of quality to the manuscript to make it as strong as possible, because the best draft that you're going to publish is going to help get the biggest rewards for you, whether that's clients, whether that's customers, whether that's exposure or visibility. The better your book is, the stronger the returns are going to be. In that way, think of your book spending as an investment on yourself. Think of this as something that you are investing in for the future, because ultimately this is for the future. This book is for the future. This is for people in the future to read. It's for people to learn from. And it's also for you to take the next step in your journey. Whether that's a thought leader, CEO, whether that's a legacy project, it's check mark for you. It's a bucket list item. It's that next step that you can take in your journey. And you want to make sure that it's as strong as possible, because Amazon is littered with low quality books. And the goal here isn't just to push something out and have it sit there. The goal is to do something great and something awesome and something powerful. If you're going to invest your time and effort and energy in the book, you want to make sure it's the best it can be. By working with high quality editors, designers, potentially ghostwriters or coaches, you're going to put out the best book possible, and it's going to have the biggest impact. If you want to learn more about how much does it cost to publish a book, you'll definitely want to watch the next episode. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Write a Book and Get It Published. And in that video, I cover writing with purpose, I cover book foundation, and share some of my biggest writing tips, hopefully to help you on your way. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.